repeat, evacuate City 17 at once, if not sooner. I cannot state this without enough undue emphasis. On a lighter note, if you are already in one of our designated safe zones, I feel obliged to point out that a more fortunate side effect of the reactor's destruction is the complete removal of the Combine's reproductive suppression field. Previously, certain protein chains important to the process of embryonic development were selectively...
Just a normal game. Just completely normal.
Fantastic job, Gordon. You're my new hero.
The fuck?
I don't believe it. I think we're actually going to make it out of here. Quick, let's get the train moving. Jump on, Gordon. I'm right. Behind you. We did it, Gordon. Here we go. We did it, Gordon.
Alright guys, that's the end of the stream. We did it. I forgot this was the end. It's been a while since I played this game. Well, yeah, but I just speed ran the game, so I'm kind of pretty cool. Thanks to Alienware, Intel, Falcon Northwest, Havoc, Soft Image, and Ford Mustang. Well, I guess we can do this now. Relevant commentary. I'm not installing this for episode 2. I'm not gonna do that.
Welcome to Half-Life 2, Episode 1. We received a great deal of positive feedback on the commentary track in The Lost Coast, and so we've included the same feature in this episode. To listen to a commentary node, put your crosshair over the floating commentary symbol and press your Use key. To stop a commentary node, put your crosshair over the rotating node and press the use key again. Some commentary nodes may take control of the game in order to show something to you. In these cases, simply press your use key again to stop the commentary. With episodic content, we're hoping to release games much more frequently than has been possible with the monolithic development schedules of the past. Game developers and game customers have been wanting to try this for years. Please let me know what you think after you've had a chance to play this, our latest installment in the ongoing adventures of Gordon Freeman.
That's rich.
I can be reached at gaben@valvesoftware.com. Thanks, and have fun.
Subject, Gaben.
Tell me, Dr. Freeman, if you can. You have destroyed so much. What is it exactly that you have created? Can you name even one thing? I thought not.
We used an upgrade of the Refractionator from Half-Life 2 to make the Vortigaunts warp into the intro. The major difference is that this time we are only refracting pixels that come from the Vortigaunts themselves. We placed a large sheet of refractive geometry in front of each Vortigaunt to achieve this effect.
This intro sequence establishes some important initial pieces of Episode 1's story and setting. Our earlier versions of the intro sequence were heavy on graphic effects and relatively light on storytelling. When we showed those early versions to playtesters, they thought it was cool, but rarely had any idea what was supposed to be happening. We went through several iterations, each time simplifying the editing and tightening up the effects.
I got a bad copy or something.
We eventually arrived at a good middle ground between the sort of psychedelic look we were shooting for and basic comprehension of what was actually taking place.
We'll see about that.
Make it even more confusing.
He has to be somewhere around here. We've got to be close. We've just got to be. Any luck over there, dog? John, I think I found something. Drop what you're doing and help me over. Oh my God! Gordon! I was so worried.
I don't want that to happen. Don't touch me.
Hey, the gravity gun. Give it to him, dog.
Players love dogs, so we made sure that he was the first thing you see when you wake up in Episode 1. We also wanted players to get a glimpse of the crippled Citadel. The dog lifts you out of the rubble. It's one of the few instances in the game when we take control of the player's view. This allowed us to ensure the player's view lingered briefly in the Citadel before dogs set them down.
I still don't know how we got out of there. The last thing I remember is...
Since we never take control away from the players, it can be a real pain to get them to notice important environmental events. It's a constant design challenge for us. The Citadel will be erupting in a massive light show that took 10 of us 2 months to orchestrate, and if we're not careful, the player will end up facing the other direction staring at a tire. In this case, to establish that the Citadel is coming apart at the seams, we wanted the player to notice the debris falling off of it. We used a pretty straightforward method here. Alex explicitly mentions the Citadel while pointing at it. Like most of these solutions, it's not foolproof, but it has a high success rate.
The Citadel is supposed to be a building of unprecedented scale. So out of scale with the rest of the world, in fact, that we couldn't render it without our 3D Skybox technology. This technology allows us to build the Citadel as a 1/16th scale model off in an unreachable corner of the map, and seamlessly merge it into the scene. We also use this technology to create the illusion of vast spaces and distant horizons.
Technology.
Sometimes we need to keep the player in an area so that we can deliver some critical dialogue or run an important sequence of events. In these cases, we temporarily block the player's path using what we call a gate. These gates generally take the form of some obstacle that can only be removed or opened by some character or event. In this case, the obstacle is a crashed gunship that can only be moved out of the way by Dog. Though the final scene looks pretty straightforward, a lot of care had to be taken to make sure that Dog hit his marks and played his sequences without trampling and damaging the player.
You will be subjected to energetic events whose effects are beyond my powers of speculation. The ravages to cellular material.
Monitor scenes are especially difficult to make interesting, since they tend to involve literally just talking heads. By interweaving critical expository information, like how dangerous the Citadel has become, with some dramatic character interactions between Alex, Eli, and Dr. Kleiner, we were able to convert a potential liability into one of the strongest scenes in the game. A great way to illustrate characters' relationships to each other is to have one of the characters in danger and show the other's reactions to it, which is what this scene is all about.
Going in?
Into the core, yes. But it's far too dangerous to consider. The chamber will be bathed in radiation.
Well, you do have the hazard suit. If we found a way into the Citadel, I mean, it's...
Alex, no!
But Dad...
When we designed the Half-Life 2 facial system back in 2000, our goal was to get a natural-looking performance at a moderate distance. Given our real-time polygon and texture budgets, we chose fairly reserved or constrained performances over ever having the actors' faces get into a bad-looking or unnatural expression. For Episode 1, we wanted to extend the character's facial system to support more intense performances with a wider range of facial expressions that would hold up better at close range. These facial improvements included increasing the detail around the eyes and mouth, increasing the number of facial shape targets, think of these as movements of muscle groups, by about 50%, rewriting the rules that control how these shapes blend, and increasing the intensity of many of our existing shapes. In addition, we added support for controlling the amplitude of the facial movement for lip sync animation, which let us dampen or amplify the mouth shapes based on the volume or intensity of the dialogue.
Watching this shit.
Thanks.
Whoa.
Okay, boy, pack up and meet us on the far side of the ridge. Wow. What a drop. After you, Gordon. Careful.
Alex travels through much of Episode 1 with the player, and consequently passes through a wider variety of lighting conditions than she did in Half-Life 2. This meant that we had to improve the quality of the lighting algorithms used in Alex to look realistic in any situation, from the eerie hallways of the Citadel to the streets of City 17 at sunset. For this episode, we added a specular lighting term to the shaders used on Alex, which provides a realistic shiny look to her skin, her leather jacket, and even her teeth. In these new lighting calculations, we chose to specifically emphasize bright highlights caused by illumination
I gotta turn my SFO over.
from grazing angles. This type of lighting, also referred to as rim lighting, is particularly dramatic when coming from low-angle light sources such as this bright sunset. You'll also note that the rim lighting is further enhanced by our high dynamic range post-processing, which causes the specular highlights to bloom in a striking and dramatic fashion. We have found that the move to an episodic development cycle allows us to take advantage of the fast pace of graphics hardware innovation by incrementally adding new features.
Rim. Bruh. I didn't hit the wall with that. God damn. No one can hear what I was saying. That's what they're here for. They're here for me to talk. Gotta put up the fucking compression up even more. Filters all the way up. 15. Alright, now this is a stream. This is a stream now.
This ledge is a really tricky spot for NPCs to navigate. While we wanted Alex to be able to maneuver dynamically through any complex environment, In certain navigation situations, we're faced with a trade-off between flexibility and visual quality. In this particular case, she navigates the ledge with a combination of AI and scripted animations. We've dynamic
This
AI
guy made Team Fortress 2.
But ultimately what matters most is how it looks to the player.
This is blue.
Our games are created by design collectives that we call cabals. When the idea
The
to have you and
cabal,
Alex sit in a van and then have Dog toss it across the gorge was first suggested during a cabal meeting, everyone thought it was funny, and then we moved on to more serious solutions for the gorge crossing. As the design progressed, though, we kept coming back to the van idea, and eventually everyone agreed that we should give it a try. Even though the idea was kind of outrageous, it satisfied some key goals we had for the scene. Alex and the player get across the impassable gorge, and Dog is able to play a key role in the mission, while also plausibly
I
getting
wasn't
left behind.
looking.
There were
wasn't
still
looking.
some problems to solve, though. Attaching animated models to the van was tricky, making sure the van didn't kill the player took some thought, and it took a number of tries before we were able to really illuminate Dog's thinking, as he went from testing his idea with chunks of debris to finally presenting the plan to Alex. Ultimately, we were able to create a scene that solved some tricky game design issues, provided an intimate view of the
Very
relationship between
informative.
Alex and Dog, and delivered a surprising and visceral entrance to the Citadel.
There has to be a way to get across. But how? What about... Dog? Dog, where are you going? Was it something I said? Dog, what are you... I think Dog needs a few bolts tightened. Look out! Dog, really? That was a little close. What's got into you, huh? How exactly is this supposed to help us?
It's really important to us to create scenes that showcase strong relationships between our characters.
Are you?
The relationship between Alex and Dog seems to be especially satisfying to players. In the scene leading up to the van toss, we had a bug before the animation was complete, where Dog's head would shake as he looked back at Alex. In a happy accident, right after she asked him, "You did do the math, right?" In playtests, players thought this was intentional, always laugh. Because of that, work
2
it into
plus
the
2
animation,
equals
and it
2
ended
minus
up being a
thickness.
terrific little moment
I
between
want you
Dog
to get
and
out
Alex.
of here as fast as you can. Go find Dad. Catch up, don't worry.
I got fucking lotion on my dick, man. I'm fucking stroking my dick right now, man. Fucking.
Alright. I'll miss you too.
Fucking horny as fuck, man. Fucking stroking my shit right now.
Get in the passenger side, Gordon.
Oh, I'm on this. I love this. I love this so much.
Brace yourself, Gordon. Okay, Dog. Let's do it.
My FOV is fine. You're drunk.
Okay. Careful. Hold on. Whoa. Oh. Good throw,
Shit
Dog.
fucking jiggled, bro. You saw that?
Now go, boy. Go on. You'll be fine. Just... Uh-oh. What now? Whoa. Hold on.
Look at that. Yeah, this right here is why the story's end was made. It's exactly what Mark Laylaud imagined with Half-Life.
Hey, let's get off before the next ride starts.
Genius writing. Oh, I got this. There's one trap. Yeah, it's not that many traps.
second. I've got to catch my breath.
This is another multi-purpose scene. First, Alex is visibly shaken, which once again humanizes her.
Easy as I thought.
But she also states the player's goal for the second half of the game.
Where's she sitting?
To get to the train station.
Let's head for the surface.
Hello, you're losing it. You're losing it.
Careful, I hear turrets.
I got a rock.
So long, what bullets? Light them up.
Seriously? You shoot one for me, you fucking idiot? Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. No. I got anything on this, man.
I can't see a thing. Blind as a bat without that flashlight on. Hey, an air duct. I've heard stories about you and air ducts. Damn, it's got a power lock. How are we going to get this open? Let's see if we can find a power box.
She ain't coming in with me. I also have no weapons. It'll be my only weapon against head crabs.
Before we armed players with traditional weapons, we wanted to give them a chance to appreciate Alex's combat abilities. Toward that goal, we created a very specific combat style for the early parts of the journey outside the Citadel. Dark, tense, surrounded by zombies, and either weaponless or starved for ammo, so that players needed to rely on the gravity gun, and more importantly, Alex. This is where players finally get a weapon. Since the door only opens when the padlock is shot, players can't proceed without finding the pistol. It's effectively a weapon gate. Once players are through the door, we can be sure they've got a pistol.
Originally, the player couldn't operate the power boxes, and would have to wait for Alex to do it. We thought it'd be entertaining to watch Alex do some cool thing while you protected her. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. Playtesters were more annoyed than entertained. The other problem was that having Alex committed to a particular activity while action was still going on in the world tended to quickly expose her most robotic tendencies. She'd either ignore what was going on, or completely stop whatever activity the player was waiting for her to finish. Either way, it was unconvincing and frustrating. What we learned here was that whenever Alex commits to some action in a dynamic environment, she needs to finish it quickly and move on.
The darkness in this area has a few real gameplay benefits. It slows the player down, which most of the time keeps Alex at your side. The claustrophobia, the close-in combat, and Alex's constant presence and reliance on your flashlight help enhance the tension and your sense of camaraderie. In the dark, the limited flashlight battery adds an extra layer of resource management to the tactics of combat.
Initially, the player wasn't going to have a weapon here. The combination of no weapon and near total darkness forced the player to use the flashlight to direct Alex's fire. We liked the idea that you could interact with Alex in a meaningful way using elements that were already built into the interface. Unfortunately, playtesters didn't like not having a weapon, so we added weapons back in. Luckily, it turned out that, even armed, players tended to still use and enjoy the flashlight mechanic.
If you don't like Alex, you're not going to have much fun with episode 1. So
Oh
Alex being
man, I
likable is
really
one of the most
don't.
crucial.
It's important that monsters get very deliberate introductions. It's important that monsters get very deliberate introductions, since players are going to interact with them a lot. Generally, we let the player first see a new monster in a safe environment, so they can start thinking about it before they have to fight it.
Oh god! Look out! It's got a grenade.
The soundtrack here was created for the introduction of a new adversary, the Combine Zombie, or Zombine. Discordant guitar tones of bends and a lo-fi fast beat work in the background of this encounter to create an off-balance and disturbing mood.
We always try to exploit a feature as much as possible throughout a game. For
Yeah, press
instance,
every
these
button.
flares. They're an exploration reward, they've got a simple, satisfying interaction with the gravity gun, and they're a good tactical alternative to the flashlight. Finally, they're a weapon that will ignite zombies, which in turn become a new light source.
For episode 1, we implemented a scripting component called the Response Rules System for dynamically managing NPC speech. We wanted to take NPC speech out of the hands of the programmers and let the writers control it. The writers were able to set up a wide range of situationally triggered character responses. For instance, Alex has different reactions to different enemies, can warn the player of danger, calls for help when she's mobbed, and will ask for light. The combat responses worked out great, but it's especially satisfying when Alex's comments on some situation mirror your own thoughts. The writers really went crazy with this, so be on the lookout for lots of little Easter egg responses to unusual situations.
Keep your light on that side. Keep your light on it. You're not looking so well.
Toxin levels detected. Automatic medical
Morphine.
engaged.
Morphine at least.
Poison headcrabs are ideal for ambushes because they startle you but can't actually kill you. Here, after a series of right-hand turns, you round a corner into a dead end. While you're cracking open a box of goodies, you're ambushed by poison headcrabs. Constructing the ambush this way increased the odds that you wouldn't see the crab, but you would hear it just in time to turn around as it leapt at your head.
The antlion hold training is unusual because it requires the player to learn a new skill in combat. This is a rare case where training occurs under duress, so Alex states the problem and helps in the fight without giving away the solution.
Alright, so this game's practically over. I couldn't.
Keep that barnacle in your light.
Those headhunters.
I need that light.
Anyways, that's the end of the stream, guys. I love you all, and please go hug your children. Good night.